Today I'll be talking to you about change is going to be hard. We have to understand in this path today that every day that we have the ability to wake up, that's not going to be easy. See, when you decide that you want to change your life, when you decide that you want to make the right moves in your life possible in order for you to be the person that you're supposed to become, it's not going to be easy. You may be pulled back into things that you no longer do or take part in, people that you are no longer around, places that you used to go that you no longer go. And we have to understand that growth and elevation is important. When you decide that you want to grow and elevate your life, you cannot be around people, places, or things that place you back into that negative headspace. Many times we don't talk about these things because so many people are fearful of the outcomes, fearful of losing people, fearful of missing out. And at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, are you really missing out? Are you really losing? Especially if you're trying to grow, especially if you're trying to change, especially if you're trying to be the person that you want to become in this life today. And many aren't going to change. That's why it's so shocking when people decide to change their lives and do the right things in their own personal life, because others don't have the ability to do that. And we have to understand that change isn't easy. You know, many times people may think that when you decide to change that you are being inauthentic, but at the end of the day, every day we have the ability to adapt to the environment that we're placed in. Every day we have the ability to think about how we can make decisions to make a better future for ourselves. And I don't think many times people think about these things. I think oftentimes people just go through the motions, and at the end of the day, you can decide if you want to go through the motions or not. But we have to think about how we can change our lives in a positive format and in a positive way. And only we can do that. Nobody else can do that for us. We have to understand the group that we place ourselves around as well too, because many times we may try to fit in, and trying to fit in never helps. Trying to fit in never gets us anywhere. Trying to fit in only makes us even worse. And at the end of the day, you only have yourself in this life. You only have yourself in this life to trust. You only have yourself in this life to depend on. But we have to understand this. People in this world will not look out for you, especially if they have their own agendas, and especially if they have their own plans and missions that they're trying to accomplish and obtain. It's a dog-eat-dog world. We have to understand this early. And we also have to understand that for most parts, many various different people have different religious belief systems, and at the end of the day, people may try to tell you what you shouldn't be doing and how you shouldn't be living. And many people may feel like because you have this belief system that it's false, and that at the end of the day you shouldn't be believing in that, and people may not believe you, so to speak, whatever the case may be. It's your life to live. It's your life, and the decisions that you make in your life, you have to understand this, that you made these decisions, not anybody else. And the battle is always going to be spiritual. We have to understand that the spiritual battle is always there, and the enemy always tries to destroy through people, places, and things. When we understand this, then we can move forward in this life today. For me personally, in my own life, I have made many various different changes, and I understand that when you're younger, you're more immature. You may do things that are immature, but as you grow far much older, we all have to understand that we have to fall away from that immaturity mindset and lead with more dominance, more strength, more faith, more guidance. And that's not even going to be easy either, because we're human and we all trip, slip up, we all make mistakes, we all do things that we weren't supposed to do. And at the end of the day, it's just best that we be honest with ourselves. If we can't be honest with ourselves, then we can't be honest with anybody. And we can't be people that we want to become in this life today. So it's just important that we look into many various different ways where we can actually change ourselves. That's if you want to change. Because some people don't want to change. Some people don't care to change, and they rather see the world just burn. But if you're an individual that just wants to change, wants to do better for yourself, then you can always change and do better for yourself. Don't let other people hold you to a standard that others can't even hold themselves to. And at the end of the day, it's your life, and it's your life to make the decisions that you want to make in your own personal life. Many times we may try to ask for advice from other people and ask for help and try to lead in a way where we value these people's opinions, and we take these people's opinions and try to use their opinions in our own personal lives in order to fuel our lives. We have to understand that everybody has a different upbringing, everybody has a different thought process, and at the end of the day, their thought process may not be the same as our thought process. So be careful who you take advice from, because not everybody is happy for you, and not everybody wants you to do good or be in good standing or be of good faith. Not everybody wants to see you rise and stand firm. Not everybody cares to see you rise and stand firm. It's for you to pick yourself up. It's for you to look into yourself and see how you can change yourself if you want to make that change. And know and understand that change will never be easy, because there's things in your own personal life that you may have to work through, trauma that you may have to work through, restructuring, rebuilding. And at the end of the day, that's for you to take into account. And don't care about what people have to say, because the people who talk the most are the people who haven't changed themselves or are scared of changing. You have to understand this. We all have to understand this, because even myself as well, living in this life, every day there may be a new experience that we all may encounter. And what we have to do is understand the experiences that we encounter, use those experiences in our own personal life to fuel our lives in a positive way. Do not focus on those who do not care about change, who do not want to change, who do not want to do anything in their lives that's positive to actually fuel themselves. Those are low frequency people, and low frequency people destroy themselves. Either you're building yourself in this life or you're destroying yourself. And our daily habits can either build ourselves in the proper way, in the proper direction, or it can destroy ourselves. And we also have to understand too, in the midst of everything, God controls everything. God controls it all. And if we're not taking into account the relationship that we have with God, then we don't understand what the situations that we may go through, how those situations help us, how those situations guide us, and how those situations fuel us to be in the proper standings with God. Every situation that we may endure, everything that we may go through, we have to understand that God controls everything, even if it's a negative situation. And we have to understand that any negative situation that we go through, it's a negative situation that we go through for a greater change and a greater purpose. And in that greater change and that greater purpose that we have to understand that it's important that we put that purpose over everything, that passion over everything. And at the end of the day, there's going to be positives and negatives. So let's understand that. Take everything with a grain of salt. So today, I'll be leaving you with the scripture, and I hope that the scripture can help you in your own daily personal lives today. Ephesians 4:20-24. You were taught with regard to your father way of life, to put off your old self when it is being corrupted by its deceitful desires, to be made new in the attitude of your minds, and to put on the new self created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness. I hope that this day you take the time to actually figure things out in your own personal life. Figure out what you need to do towards making change in your own daily personal life. Understanding change and understanding what change can do for your own personal life. For myself, I understood that change can be very much helpful in understanding how the world is and understanding how you can change your mind, your soul, your body, your spirit, your heart, and understanding that at the midst of everything, God is at the midst of it all. I want to thank you for watching today. Peace.